Let me tell you something most people won't. Losing, that's not failure, it's feedback. It's the raw material of growth. But the problem is, too many of you out here are treating losing like it's the end. Like once you fall down, that's the whole story. Nah, losing's just a chapter, it's not the whole book. It's a comma, not a period. You hear me? Some of you are so afraid to lose, you don't even try. You play it safe, stay comfortable, settle for average, all because you don't want to feel the sting of a loss. But here's the truth. The sting is the signal. It means you're alive. It means you're in the fight. It means you cared enough to risk something. So stop acting like the pain is punishment. It's a process. Losing is part of it. And not just part of it, it's the foundation. It's the blueprint. You don't get to mastery without mistakes. You don't get to confidence without confrontation. You don't get to strength without struggle. Every person you admire, every champion you look up to, they've all lost. And not just once, repeatedly, brutally, publicly. But they didn't fold. They didn't disappear. They used those losses as leverage. They studied them. They owned them. They said, cool, I'll eat this, but I'm not going to let it break me. I'm going to let it build me. See, when I talk about the art of losing, I'm talking about the skill of turning setbacks into setups. I'm talking about getting to the point where the loss doesn't take your identity. Yeah, you might have lost a game, but you're still a warrior. You might have lost a relationship, but you're still worthy. You might have lost a deal, but you're still destined. That's what most people miss. They wrap their worth around the win. So when the win doesn't show up, neither do they. But you different. You listening to me right now because something in you still believes. Something in you refuses to lay down. So I'm here to tell you, lean into the loss. Don't run from it. Don't hide it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Study it, feel it, then fuel it. Because when you process the pain, you get access to power. And that power, that's what turns ordinary people into legends. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it won't break your heart, break your back, or break your bank account. I'm telling you it's necessary. You don't grow from the easy stuff. You don't develop resilience when everything goes your way. You develop resilience when you get punched in the mouth, and instead of staying down, you wipe the blood off and stand back up. That's what the blueprint looks like. Every L is an instruction. Every L is a new layer of insight. It's teaching you what not to do, who not to trust, where not to go. And if you pay attention, if you're humble enough to listen, you'll start seeing patterns. You'll start moving smarter. You'll stop wasting time repeating the same cycles. You'll get strategic. You'll stop taking emotional loss and start taking calculated risks. And that's the moment you turn the corner. You see, the greatest part about losing is it reveals what's real. It strips everything down. When you lose, you find out who's really for you. You find out what really matters. You find out what you're really made of. And if you allow that clarity to guide you instead of destroy you, now you're in position. Now you've got tools. Now you've got testimony. But you got to stop calling yourself a failure just because you lost. Losing and failing are not the same. Failing is final when you choose to quit. But as long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still moving, it's not failure. It's formation. It's character development. It's identity shaping. It's sharpening your edge for what's next. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you lost something and took a moment to honor what it gave you? Think about that. Maybe you lost an opportunity, but you gained patience. Maybe you lost a job, but you gained a vision. Maybe you lost someone you love, but you gained perspective. There's always something on the other side of the loss. But you only get access to it if you stop crying long enough to look for it. I'm not here to romanticize pain. I'm not here to glorify suffering. I'm telling you the truth because life will knock you down. And when it does, the only thing that'll get you back up is the mindset that losing is a teacher, not a taker. Stop resenting your losses, start respecting them. Because they're trying to teach you how to win the right way, not by skipping steps, not by cheating the grind, but by learning how to rise again and again and again. You don't become great by never losing. You become great by learning how to lose well. Lose with integrity. Lose with humility. Lose with vision. Because if you can do that, if you can stay locked in through the heartbreak, through the disappointment, through the rejection, then when your moment comes, and it will come, you'll be ready. So if you're in a season where it feels like all you do is lose, I need you to hear me. This ain't the end. This is the beginning. You're not being buried. You're being planted. Stay down long enough to grow roots. And when it's time, rise up with more strength, more wisdom, and more hunger than ever before. That's the art of losing. Learning how to turn every fall into fuel. You know what's crazy? Most of the time, the loss you're fighting ain't even the real battle. The real battle is with the lie you've been living. Yeah, I said it. The real thing you need to lose is the version of you that you created to survive, not the one that was born to lead. You built that version to protect yourself from pain, to fit in, to get approval, to feel safe. And now it's become a prison. So you out here calling it life, calling it normal, but deep down, you know you ain't being real. You're just being safe. And I get it. I've been there. It's hard to let go of what kept you from breaking down. It's hard to release what helped you cope when the world was against you. But there comes a point where survival is no longer enough. You can't build legacy with lies. You can't walk in power while pretending to be powerless. You can't step into your destiny while clinging to your disguise. You got to lose the lie. You've got to lose the lie that says you're not good enough. The one that whispers you're not smart enough. That lie that tells you your past disqualifies your purpose. That voice in your head that keeps dragging you back to who you used to be. Like you haven't grown. Like you haven't learned. Like you haven't bled to become the version of you that's ready now. That's the lie I'm talking about. And if you don't let it go, it's going to steal every opportunity, every breakthrough, every blessing that was meant for you. See, people talk about winning like it's just a matter of grinding harder, working longer, hustling more. And yeah, that's part of it. But you can grind all day and still get nowhere. If you're grinding with a broken identity, if you still believe you're not worthy, you'll sabotage everything you build. If you still believe you need people to validate you, you'll shrink every time they don't clap. If you still believe success is for them and not you, you'll never chase it with your full heart. So what's the point in chasing goals if you don't believe you deserve them? What's the point in dreaming big if you're living small on the inside? You've got to lose that inner dialogue that was never yours to begin with. Some of y'all been carrying voices in your head that don't belong to you. It's your mama's insecurity. It's your teacher's doubt. It's your old coach who told you you'd never make it. It's that one moment from childhood that broke something in you and you never questioned it. You just accepted it as truth. But I came to tell you, just because it came early doesn't mean it was accurate. Just because it's stuck doesn't mean it belongs. You can't keep dragging that baggage into a future that's waiting on your freedom. You want to win? Then get honest. Get raw, get real with yourself. Start peeling back the layers. Start asking hard questions. Who told me I wasn't enough? Why did I believe it? What did I lose when I accepted that as truth? Because the art of losing, the real art, is losing the illusion, losing the mask, losing the fake strength, losing the ego, losing the perfection complex, losing the need to be liked, losing the need to be understood. When you lose that, you finally make room for the real you to show up. The bold you, the healed you, the focused you, the you that don't need applause to stay motivated, the you that shows up every day because you know what you carry, the you that's unapologetic about your greatness, not arrogant, aware. You can't be powerful and pretend at the same time. You can't be free and fake. You've got to choose. Either you keep living the lie and lose your future, or you lose the lie and finally live. That's the art of losing, sacrificing the false to uncover the truth. You want to know what separates the average from the elite? What separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the finishers? Is not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's the ability to lose on purpose. That's right. I said lose on purpose. Because the ones who truly win in life, they don't just react to loss. They strategize with it. They understand something most people miss. Sometimes, in order to gain everything, you've got to be willing to lose something first. See, you think losing is something that happens to you, but I'm telling you, real champions, they lose intentionally. They let go of comfort. They walk away from what's familiar. They sacrifice the applause. They give up short-term pleasure for long-term positioning. They're not afraid to look crazy today if it means they're going to look legendary tomorrow. They know how to play the long game. You've got to understand, there are some wins you will never reach if you don't first release. You've got to lose the old circle if you want to level up. You've got to lose the ego if you want to grow. You've got to lose the distractions, the noise, the dead weight that's been keeping you stuck in cycles, but that takes strategy. That takes vision. That takes courage. Most people don't have the patience or the discipline to take that kind of loss because they're too addicted to being liked, too addicted to being comfortable, too addicted to looking successful instead of actually becoming successful. You think it's weak to walk away? You think it's weak to say no to something that used to feed you but no longer fuels you? No, that's strength. That's wisdom. That's maturity. That's what grown folks do when they're building legacy. They don't cling to what they've outgrown. They don't hold on to people out of loyalty to who they used to be. They make strategic losses to create space for elevation. Sometimes losing looks like leaving the party early so you can wake up focused. Sometimes it looks like saying no to a relationship that feels good but costs your peace. Sometimes it's walking away from a paycheck because your purpose is calling louder. And yeah, people will look at you like you're crazy. They call you arrogant. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you're doing too much. But they don't understand. You're not trying to fit in. You're trying to build something that lasts. You're playing chess while they're still playing checkers. Let me tell you, this kind of losing hurts. It cuts deep. You'll feel alone. You'll second guess yourself. You'll wonder if you made the right move. But I promise you, if you stay faithful to the vision and not the emotion, the rewards are coming. That pain you feel right now, that's just the price of power. That space you're in where it feels like nobody gets you, That's the space where God does his best work. That silence you feel from the world, that's the season of preparation. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be great. But very few people are willing to let go of good for the sake of greatness. They want the crown, but they're not willing to leave the crowd. But you're different. You didn't come here to play. You didn't come here to coast. You came to conquer. And that means you've got to lose some things that no longer serve you. You've got to get real with yourself and ask, what am I holding on to that's holding me back? Because if you want a new life, you've got to make room for it. You can't keep trying to pour next level dreams into an old level mindset. You can't build a mansion on a foundation of fear. You can't walk into a new season still dragging the mindset of mediocrity. So let it go. Lose it on purpose. Lose it because your destiny is too big to carry baggage from the past. This is what the greats do. They train themselves to lose what doesn't matter so they can win where it does. They learn how to sacrifice strategically. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every connection is a covenant. Not every door that opens is meant to be walked through. Sometimes the win is in walking away. Sometimes the strength is in surrender. Not surrendering your purpose, but surrendering the pressure to please people who were never meant to understand your path in the first place. You've got to start making moves that confuse small minds. Stop explaining your vision to people who've never seen beyond survival. Start surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, stretch you, push you. People who don't let you settle. That's how you grow. That's how you win. But first, you've got to lose. Lose the comfort. Lose the comparison. Lose the calendar that says it should have happened by now. Lose the narrative that says you're behind. You're not behind. You're just in the process of building something that can't be rushed. This is the season where you stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. You stop letting your feelings make your decisions and start letting your future lead your steps. That's what strategic losing is all about. It's not about being reckless. It's about being intentional. It's about saying, this hurts, but I know it's necessary. This costs me, but I know it's an investment. This loss might be loud right now, but the win that's coming will speak for itself. You're not just out here grinding aimlessly. You're building something. So be smart with your losses. Learn from them, leverage them, use them to get sharper, wiser, stronger. Because at the end of the day, you don't become unstoppable by never falling. You become unstoppable by knowing exactly what's worth losing and never hesitating to let it go. That's the art of losing. Giving up what's good to go after what's great. Let me make this clear. You can lose and still win the war. Yeah, you might have taken some hits, maybe even some hard ones. You might have lost your job, your momentum, your relationship, your way. Maybe you lost years to doubt, fear, or trauma. But that doesn't mean you've lost you. That doesn't mean the fight is over. That doesn't mean the vision is dead. You took a loss, yeah, but the story ain't finished. You don't get to the top without going through some valleys. You don't win the war without surviving some battles. See, people out here think that every loss is a full stop, like it's over, like it's final. But real loss, is just a test. It's just life asking you, how bad do you want it? How deep is your belief? How strong is your why? Because if all it takes is one closed door, one disappointment, one detour to shut you down, then you were never built for legacy in the first place. You were built for convenience. You were built for approval. But if you can keep moving through the loss, if you can wake up when it still hurts, still burns, still echoes in your chest, that's when you discover what you're really made of. And let's be real, it's easy to believe when everything's going your way. It's easy to talk faith when the checks are coming in, the relationships are smooth, the path is clear. But the real test is when it's dark, when it's quiet, when the scoreboard says you're losing and you've still got to play like you're built to win. That's when your character shows up. That's when your identity gets forged in the fire. You've got to stop measuring your life by the temporary. You've got to stop letting short-term losses convince you that you're not still called, still chosen, still in position. Just because it didn't happen this year doesn't mean it won't happen. Just because they left doesn't mean you're unlovable. Just because the door closed doesn't mean there's not another one. Sometimes life will strip everything away, not to break you, but to bring clarity, so you can finally see what's real, who's real, and what actually matters. Listen, you're not losing. You're learning. You're evolving. You're shedding what can't go with you into the next level. You're building muscle. You're building mindset. And that ain't pretty. That's not Instagrammable. That's not something people clap for. But it's necessary. You've got to learn how to fight when no one's watching. You've got to learn how to keep showing up when nobody's cheering. Because the war isn't won on stages. It's won in silence. It's won in your choices. It's won in your discipline. The world will look at you and think you done. They'll count you out because they don't see what's happening behind the scenes. They don't see the inner work. They don't see the hours. They don't see the sacrifice. They just see you sitting in the ashes and assume that's where you'll stay. But you know better. You know those ashes are temporary. You know you're just rebuilding. You know this pain is part of the process. Sometimes the win isn't loud. Sometimes it's not the trophy or the title or the recognition. Sometimes the win is just getting up one more time. It's not quitting on yourself. It's not letting bitterness take root. It's holding on to hope when logic says you shouldn't. That's victory too. You might not have the proof yet. You might not have the resilience. And if you've got the resilience, you still got the most important weapon in this war. You can lose the round and still win the war. Maybe you failed that exam. Maybe you got rejected. Maybe the business didn't take off. Maybe the people you trusted flipped on you. That doesn't mean you lose everything. That just means you got another chance to come back wiser, stronger, more dangerous. Because the real loss isn't when you fall. It's when you let the fall define you. And I'm telling you right now, don't you dare let one chapter become your conclusion. You are not your last mistake. You are not your worst moment. You are not your failure. You are not the one who got left behind. You are not the person they couldn't see. You are the comeback. You are the lesson learned. You are the storm that didn't quit. And as long as there's breath in your body and fight in your heart, you are still in this, still chosen, still called, still dangerous. You've got to start seeing your journey like a war, not just a sprint to success. And in war, you don't win every fight. Sometimes you retreat. Sometimes you regroup. Sometimes you bleed. But you get back up. You strategize. You evolve. You come back smarter. You come back hungrier. And when the moment is right, you strike with everything you've got. So don't be ashamed of your losses. Don't hide your scars. Let them speak. Let them testify. Let them remind you how far you've come. Because if you can survive what tried to break you, then you're not just a survivor, you're a warrior. And warriors don't measure the fight by how many hits they take. They measure it by how many times they rise. This is your reminder. The loss didn't disqualify you. It prepared you. It trained you. It strengthened your grip. It humbled your heart. It reminded you of what matters. So stop looking at it like a setback and start seeing it as a setup. That's the art of losing. Learning how to take a hit and still swing back harder.